Aujourd'hui, il n'y aura pas de Big Bang Hunter, car nous, Anonymous, nous opposons à la tyrannie absurde de votre présentateur stupide et grossier, dont l'humour de bas étage n'a d'égal que l'alcoolisme. Nous allons donc ici diffuser l'intégralité de son historique UGs, pour étaler au grand jour la dépravation de cet homme qui...
Michel ?
Nous ne sommes pas Michel, nous sommes Légion.
Tire-toi de ma place et ramène une bière.
Une bière ? Ça marche.
Vous le savez sûrement, ce masque est aujourd'hui le symbole de la lutte, de la résistance contre l'oppression. Il est utilisé par les Anonymous, bien sûr, mais aussi par d'autres mouvements qui combattent l'autorité et le pouvoir. Chacun sait qu'il fait référence au héros de V pour Vendetta, qui reprend le mythe de Guy Fawkes, un révolutionnaire anglais de 1605, qui tenta de renverser le pouvoir dans ce qui fut appelé la conspiration des poudres. Conspiration des poudres qui termine en pétard mouillé, si j'ose dire, puisque notre ami finit sur l'échafaud. Cette bande dessinée culte date en fait des années 80. C'est Alan Moore qui s'occupe du scénario et au dessin, c'est mon très bon ami David Lloyd. Oui. D'ailleurs, tout aurait été très différent sans lui.
Originally, I was supposed to write and draw it, but then I was working with Alan Moore at the time, and I thought, well, I think it's going to be better if I work with Alan, and he was up for it. He wanted to do it. So we started working on this thing. Now, previously, both myself and Alan had done stories that we hadn't been able to sell about urban guerrillas fighting a fascist dictatorship in a future England. Mine was featured a character she was a female urban guerrilla called Evelina Falconbridge. I did one page of it and I couldn't sell it. And Alan also had done another character, some similar sort of story called The Doll. It was a terrorist in white face makeup. So Alan had created this story that he hadn't been able to sell. I'd done, and when the opportunity came up to do this, we thought, oh, well, let's just stick them together. Let's just do that. So that was the origin of why we wanted to do this story about this urban guerrilla. So Alan writes this background to it all. Works out a lot of the stuff. You know, our hero is in a concentration camp. He's been experimented on. He escapes, and now he's going to try the best he can to destroy the government and wreak vengeance on the people who put him in there. That's it. That's what we had. Now that is all we had, basically. The look of the character and these deeper motivations we didn't have. So we had to think about what what's he going to look like, blah, 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 blah. I roughed out some ideas. None of it really worked. We weren't happy with it. We were thinking, what can we do? What can we do? Anyway, one afternoon, I had this brainstorm. Yeah, why don't we bring back Guy Fawkes? Because he was a revolutionary, but he was a failed revolutionary. Why don't we bring him back and make him succeed? So we know he failed to blow up the House of Parliament. Why don't we bring him back and he does blow up the House of Parliament? And the mission of this urban guerrilla fully matched what Guy Fawkes wanted to do. He wanted to start a revolution. He wanted to get rid of what he saw as dictatorial regime. So we had this character adopting the garb, wearing a mask to represent Guy Fawkes in a modern world. And that's
Mais ce que je retiens, moi, c'est surtout l'idée d'avoir utilisé le masque de Guy Fawkes. Cette trouvaille graphique a eu un impact énorme. Merde.
Once the character adopted the persona and the mission of Guy Fawkes, he obviously has to look like Guy Fawkes, So the Guy Fawkes mask is really a stylized design of what we know Guy Fawkes to look like. Or from the evidence that we have, the prints that we have, we know that that is basically what he looked like. Yeah, but the original plan when we created it was to use the Guy Fawkes mask that you could buy in a store around about November the 5th. You know about that, we celebrate that. And they don't do it so much now, we just set out fireworks. But when I was a kid, you would make a dummy, an effigy of Guy Fawkes, and put him on a bonfire and burn it. you burn an effigy of Guy Fawkes because basically that holiday is a celebration. Yeah, it's a celebration of the execution of a terrorist, really, basically, you know. And you would buy a mask in the store to put on the effigy, to put on, you know, to be the face. Now, because when we created it, it was in the summertime. And no store, I couldn't find a Guy Fawkes mask anywhere, nowhere. I tried, I asked costumiers and stuff, but I couldn't find it. So the only alternative was to design my own. And so basically that's how it ended up the way it was. It's just a stylized version of Guy Fawkes that I created a copy of.
Et ce qui est drôle, c'est que c'est finalement la copie qui est devenue le masque de référence. Quand on pense au masque de Guy Fawkes, on pense à ce modèle et pas à ceux qui étaient fabriqués à l'époque. Aujourd'hui, c'est bien ce masque qui est porté fièrement par de nombreux mouvements.
Well, I think it is a good thing, you know, and I have no problem with that at all, because all the time that mask is being used, it is used as a symbol of resistance to oppression. Resistance to tyranny. Now, sometimes it might be perceived tyranny, but it doesn't matter. Those people wearing that are wearing it because it's a symbol of resistance to oppression. So I'm very happy that they, you know, they all do it in different ways. Anonymous, Occupy, and it's been used in Egypt. It's been used everywhere, and I think it's great. I'm very glad that it has that effect. And it's got that life outside the book. It's great.
Et voilà comment est née cette figure quasi mythologique, aujourd'hui profondément ancrée dans l'imaginaire collectif. C'est sûr que si David avait fait sa BD en novembre, ce masque aurait sûrement une autre gueule. Michel ? Qu'est-ce que tu fous encore ? Bon, Michel, arrête tes conneries.
Nous ne sommes pas Michel, nous sommes Légion, et voici l'historique de navigation de votre présentateur.
Attendez. Non mais ça je peux expliquer ça, hein.